You both walked into dressing rooms where they were so used to winning the league, whether it was at Real Madrid or whether it was when you went to Manchester United. What went on in those dressing rooms that perhaps hadn't happened in places where you'd played football previously or played football since, that made the difference at those clubs that truly believed? Because this is a Liverpool dressing room with 3 Premier League titles between all those players. Manchester City are going to have 30 odd between them.
Well, it was probably quality, Jake. I think that goes down to it. I think when you have supreme quality, that also brings a level of confidence. And when you look around various dressing rooms, you think to yourself, we are going to challenge at the beginning of the, at the beginning of the season, you're going to challenge at the end of the season.
At Real, was it just a given? Did you even talk about winning the league? Because it was kind of a given that with 6 weeks to go, you'd be in the hunt.
Yeah, but it was also about being in the hunt for every other trophy. It was also about being in the hunt for the Champions League. It wasn't just about the league. If you would have got knocked out of the Champions League in early February in the last 16 or in the group stage in December, that was unthinkable. So you had to be always challenging for both. And, I've mentioned it before. I didn't do the league and the Champions League double because it was so hard and the pressure becomes so intense at times, and you have to keep everybody fit all the time, and various injuries come along that stifle you as a team, and you'll get knocked out of. We got knocked out on the semi-final of the Champions League and we won the league, and you felt a body blow, and it's how you respond of that. But the quality of your teammates, you always knew that you had the ability to go again. And if you did lose an important game in Europe, or you did lose an important game in league, 3 days later, when you had another league game or another important game, you just bounced back and won. And that's the quality of the player.
It's a mentality. It's a mentality thing. I have been at clubs where the best players, and I've been at clubs whereby surviving is success. And the way they approach games, the way they approach training, the way they approach everything is just chalk and cheese.
Without naming names, which you don't want to, give us examples.
If you play in a 5-a-side game, if you go to Real Madrid, Manchester United, Liverpool, and play in a 5-a-side game, and you get beat, I mean, it's world war in the dressing room after. There's people fighting, there's cuts and bruises, and the manager has to stop it after 10 minutes instead of having a 20-minute game. No, stop it, we can't get any. It's like... Yeah. It's crazy. And then sometimes, if you're at a club that is, you don't have to play well once every 3 games. Get to 40 points, it's all right. That's subconscious. That's their mentality.
You're geared, though, aren't
you? The best players are just geared to win.
To win every single
5-a-side,
every day, everything they do.
You train as you play, don't you? There's nothing going to, the training sessions, and we used to do a 4v4 session with Arsene Wenger, 2 small goals brought up, edge of the box. I mean, the tackles that were flying in there, you didn't want to be the player that was going to let down that group. And you had to be in a winning team. And Arsene Wenger sometimes had to bring it to a quick close because it was getting too tetchy, too many big tackles. But it's a pleasure to be with those types of players that want the same thing as you. And the competition for places, and I saw that today with the substitutes for Liverpool, when they came off the bench, everybody's wanting to prove. Henderson played some magnificent balls when you look at his performance, and you think he shouldn't be on the bench. But you look at this great club, and it was a truly great club, wasn't it, in the 80s, Liverpool, and the 70s. And you saw the last time they got close to winning it, with Steven Gerrard was very closely, wasn't he, linked, and Brendan Rodgers, and they fell almost in the last few steps. And I wondered, there was so much pressure coming from the supporters here. I hope that they've learnt from that as a football club, and that the fans enjoy it, but don't strangle. Don't strangle the players.
The pressure here is going to be incredible.
No, but that's a warning, because that what happened that season.
How can you help yourself if you're a Liverpool fan and you think that you're going to... there are Liverpool fans here who are 40 years old, 45 years old, and don't really remember Liverpool winning the title. They've got little recollections as being little kids, but they don't really know what it's like.
But no club has a divine right to win the Premier League, and Liverpool fans maybe felt that it was their time, it was their moment.
Up to the players to be lifted by that, isn't it? Rather than
I think at that stage, if we look, I'm not sure what year that was with Brendan Rodgers, but it almost worked against them a little bit at the end. It was just meant too much, and it's about it's a football game of football. Do you know, an awful lot's happened over the years to this football club, and I think they can do it. I think they're not far away, but you want that great energy, and it's almost like a 12th man. Whenever you played here, you felt that, didn't you? When you played, you played here as the home team. It was very difficult, and they can do it, but their plans will play a major part.
I think they've got a better team now. Their game management, and that will come down to the manager. I think if you look back to the Chelsea game here, they didn't need to necessarily go and win the game when they lost that day. They could have easily drew the game because they were battered, and Chelsea, as in possession stats, Chelsea sat back, defended, nicked a couple of goals, firstly the Demba Ba one and then really late on, but they could have drawn that game. And then the Palace game after that, which people refer to when they were 3 up and could have been 7 up, they went and somehow conspired to draw that game, to concede 3 late on. And I think that wouldn't happen now with this team. I think they've got too many leaders in. I think they've got better players, and I think they're more equipped, and I think the manager will instill in that if you're 1-0 up, you're 2-0 up, you're 3-0 up, you do not take chances and let other teams back in the game. And if we need a draw out of this game, we'll take a draw. But by all means, do not lose it.